Welcome to the Hampshire 1900 start for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We're picking up on the 6th of April 1934, which is a pretty significant date because we've now got to a point where we can start researching some other technologies, especially if I come down here, they're all... One is we can start the process of opening up our waste kind of management. We've also got the electronics, which I think is up here, which is the first research we're going to be doing. And then I think also we've got the power pylons in here somewhere as well. And those three techs are going to give us a certain amount of kind of access to going there. And this is why in this part I do want to think a little bit more about future-proofing our overall economy. But most of that will be in Warstock. So I'm going to start in Milford-on-Sea and give you a bit of an update of where we are. Our new hotel is going quite well. I think we could put shops or something underneath that. And we've built our passenger port, but I'm kind of disabled it for the moment because we haven't finished this, although it's getting there. So maybe in the next part we may actually need to consider bringing in ships. But we do have a problem around here at the moment, in the sense that we've probably got too many tourists. Now, one thing I do want to do as part of the future proofing is, before we move on, is put another store probably down in this corner. We don't really... It says we've got a bit of a food issue here. We've got 75 workers without a job. Yeah, so there we go. Because we are going to expand into this area. This is the area I started to reclaim. One step forward now is the fact that we have got our clothes production up and running. We are producing clothes and fabric. And if I show you the economy, if we go to this year and I show you the imports, you'll see that we are no longer importing any clothes or any fabrics now. So we are self-sufficient in those one, which is slowly improving our... If I go back to last month, back this year, you can see that we're making a steady profit, but this profit will disappear relatively quickly. Especially with respect, if you can see that we've got kind of a bit of a negativity to do with actual dollars, but that I know what that problem is, and I'll talk about it in a little while. So what I want to do is we're going to kind of put in a store. I'm going to put my standard store in here, I think. Let's just see. Although maybe we could put another shopping center. See, the V2 corner market V2 can serve 200 people. This small shopping centre, we could go a little bit more modern. The trouble is, this has got a little bit more of a misorientation. What else have we got here? That's 150. Wow, that's big. I think that's way too big. I think we're going to stick with the corner markets. I know it's a bit kind of twee, but I think if we put that there... To say, there's two reasons for doing this. One is that, well, there's three reasons really. One, because it means we can supply electronics to our tourism. It also means that we could possibly expand our tourism out this way, and create a situation where our Western tourists can get to a hotel here, but not our kind of Soviet tourists. So we're just going to come here, and of course we're going to put in the usual Tudor market on the back, like that as well. But the second reason is giving us some protection against what we call it, against earthquakes, because if we have an earthquake and that burns down, then Milford-on-Sea will be toast. And then more importantly is we are going to be expanding out this way over time, to provide a workforce for over here. So having another food store here will make a bit of a difference. And of course, the workers in this area will get pushed in this direction to up here with respect to our food and alcohol shipping here. I think that's all. I think I've covered everything in Milford-on-Sea at the moment, which we will. I don't think there's anything else that we need to do. Now, what I'm going to do is do a quick run over to Warstock, because I'm aware that time is pushing on, and there's something I go on to do with respect to the research. We can find our Tech University here. You can see we've now got 3 researches. We've got electronic circuits, electronic pylons, and waste processing. We are going to research electronics circuits for a reason, which I'll explain once the tech is finished. Now we're going to scoot back to Eastleigh. Again, there's not much changed in this area, but one change I have made is I've put an open store in here. Now the reason for that is that I suddenly realized that, well, there's 2 things I can do. Is I can use it for exporting some of the products from this area, possibly bricks in the short term, but more importantly, it suddenly occurred to me that I need somewhere to import steel with to, once we've got our steel industry operating. I mean, long term, it doesn't need massive amounts of steel, but we will need to bring that in eventually to support the maintenance of our buildings. Plus the fact is that we've got this here, which is burning a little bit of steel. So long term, and this is, and by long term I mean you're talking 20 or 30 years, what we're going to do is make this more viable by actually importing the steel to here, and then we'll bring it down to here. Now the other thing I want to show you is, which I've alluded to with the economy, is that we are spending money on imported vehicles. And now if I don't know if I can show this to you, but we'll give it a go. If I come in here, 21st to the 2nd, 3rd, you can see here we've got a Holt dozer which you've imported. That means that there's a potential, but there's also another potential in the sense that we are manufacturing these Mac AC series. So what I'm going to have to do is we're going to have to come here, and I want to put in a vehicle. Oh, don't want a big one. I just want a small. I want to put a small vehicle yard in here. Because of what we're going to need to do in a few years' time is put a couple of back trucks in here to replace the ones that we've already got in here. So if we go back to here, all right. What we've got is this Holt bulldozer. What is the characteristics of the Holt bulldozer? It's a 20, 9, 15, 15. Where is the steam bulldozer? Oh no, because this is a replacement option. See, that's 24 kilometers now. That's 10 kilometers now. We've got 3 of these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a chance, because while these are good, well, maybe what we could do actually, I mean, they are reasonable. What's the template for the Holt bulldozer? Now the trouble with these is they can be quite expensive. Yeah, 283,000. We don't have enough for it. What I'm gonna have to do is, what's the best we've got for the moment? We've got the Stanelits here, so what I'm gonna do, it's only 8 kilometers. I'm gonna put that there for the moment. Then we're just going to have to sort this out over time. So we've got this being built here. I mean, the rest in this area is fairly kind of static. A little bit of dead road there. Let me just trim that off. As I say, the rest in Eastleigh is not that important. Just let the game run fast so we can get research. I do need to sort this area out because we've got steel sat here not doing very much. This is another reason why I want to put this in, because in the short term, once this is built, we use this as the store for bricks and that, because it's a bit nearer to Southampton than there, which means we'll shorten our transportation distances. Beyond that, there isn't much else to show you here for the moment, but we may come back once we've got the research done. So now we're off to Warstock, and I just want to take a quick look at. We're powering along quite quickly. Now, in the last part, we built up Cosham. And what I'm thinking is I would really like to start thinking about kind of getting an electronics industry going here, from this point of view. And for that reason, what I want to do is think about, we've got this factory here which can produce 1.8 tons of electro components, not electronics, sorry. And also we've got the electronics factory here, which we can't place at the moment. Or can we? No, it doesn't tell us. This needs 1.8 and it produces 4.3 tons of electronics. But you can see, to produce those electronics, we will need electro components, mechanical components, and boards. So what I'm thinking is putting something in here, but I think what I will do is wait for that research to get finished. So that's partly what we're thinking of. Now, something else I've done here is I've actually put a demolition team in here. I need that road construction guys on that there, and we'll get these guys busy as well. Now, I have had one slight unfortunate problem. I can find it. It's over here. Because what I've got is, we had a fire. Let me just grab these as well. I want you to build that. Now, we had a fire and we've actually but lost this. So I need to get workers on here to rebuild this. This needs to be high priority. High priority, super high priority. But the problem is that this was not very efficient because the fire trucks had to go all the way round the loop. So what I've done is I want to build this so that we can, and what that will mean is that I can bridge a road through here to be able to get this a bit more secure fire production, because at the moment we're not shipping any bitumen up to here. At the moment we've got 96 tons, so we're okay because we don't use that much bitumen. So that's another little problem which the game kind of dished up to me. Now, the other thing I want to show you, if I can remember where it actually is, it's on the over here. Finally got rid of this road here, but not this road here, but it did give me a little bit of a problem with respect to this bit here. So what I've done is I've told the demolition crew to remove this, but the demolition crew is not very efficient at the moment. That's the reason why I'm building another office out there, because we are going to be doing quite a lot of demolition. So now I want to talk about a little bit about future proofing, and I've already made a start here, because what I want to do is, my original plan for this area was to actually, how can you put it, was to kind of keep this as a temporary and not develop it, but I've had a bit of a rethink, because what I've decided is that we got a prefab factory here, which I know I'm not using at the moment, but this can then be used to store prefabs here. And then I've also thinking in terms of, whoops, come on, Gabe, is we've got a gravel recycling plant here as well, because when we start building the mines up here, we're going to get a lot of construction waste, and we need to do something about that construction waste. So what I'm thinking is now that we can kind of, and especially as the fact that we've got traffic jams here, so this is where the future proofing is coming in. So what I've done is I've put a conveyor there, which means eventually, I say out here, when we unlock this, which won't be for a long time, but we can put a gravel processing there. That means we'll eventually be able to get rid of all these trucks here. So that's the first step. Now I just need to, yeah, I've got a bulldozer in there because I had a bit of a problem. Now the other thing is I've also put this in here, and what I'm going to do is now come to conveyors. I want about 1,000 tons of, I think flip you that way, because what we're going to do is get some extra capacity in this area. I mean, ideally I would like to knock it all down and redo it, but what we're going to have to do is create a parallel system, because I don't want to disturb this. So what we're going to do is put in another store here, but this will be, we'll get there eventually. I think the ground isn't exactly all that flat in this area, and what I'd like, if possible, is to get a road. Yeah, we can get a road through to there. So we've got, so we'll have another gravel store here. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because I want to use the, oops, I want to check this one first. Gravel, because I want you to connect to there, like that. So we're just going to level out this area here. So we've now got additional gravel processing down into here. Now I want to demolish this, because what we're going to do is put in a secondary output store here, and somehow I want to be able to connect this with this. So this is going to be a, and what I want to do is go pretty big for a reason. What's the biggest? 5,000 tons. I want about 5,000 tons. Cant it slightly that way. Can I actually, if I put it that way around, could I get underneath that road there? Put you that way round, that way round. And push you out, say like that. Like, no, I want that. So if we can get this in here, let me just, if I can get that there, get rid of the conveyors, demolish, don't need that button there. We can put direct conveyor link there, and ideally if I can get it, all hinges down to getting a rotor there. Right, so what we've got now is this here. Now this is where it's going to get a little bit tight, so I want you to kind of come off there. Don't need that. This is going to be the pickup point for the pavers. And now we've got this here. And we've got the aggregate store there. We're going to need to try and get a workforce under here to here, which could be interesting. I'm not sure. Maybe can I get a footpath under here? No, it's not going to go, is it? How about here? Yeah, we can get a footpath there, but I don't want lights. Can you? Okay, you're not going to get there, are you? You're close, but not close enough. We could try going directly. Let me just get rid of the... Come here. Let me just look at something. Whoops. Yeah, we got a little bit of space there. I'm going to put you there. Put you there. Go underground. Won't go under that building. Okay. We're gonna have to get creative here. Let me just see. Right, we need to push up some space. Pergola. I'm gonna put a pergola there. Select you. What that will do. Okay, we've now got our research. That gives us 232 to there. I'm going to put a... So this is where it can get a little bit shaky with respect to doing this. And what we're going to do is... I'm going to... Where's the pergola? I'm going to put a pergola there. And one there. But asphalt path there. Get you past there, put there. Yeah, we can get there now. What I've done by putting the 3 pergolas in is it's given us an extra 30 meters, which means we can get a workforce out to here. Now, so we've got one more thing to do here, and that comes with respect to rail. We're going to put a that way. Gonna put you, oops, that went green. Yeah, I think we're push this back. Oh, did that go green? We'll put this about here. I'm not going to put the rail tracks in. What we've got now is we've got an aggregate loading here, which will actually do it. But there's still enough space around here. Eventually, we could put a gravel recycling yard in here, which could also supply gravel to this area. But I want to keep. I'm not sure where I want to put that, because I may do all the gravel recycling up here and create another gravel location. This is more to give me the ability to ship both gravel and prefabs across the map. But as I say, I don't sorted out the rail line. Anyway, we've now finished our research. Got a new type of vehicle. We've got an epidemic report. Okay, we're going to need to make sure we got vaccination coverage now. I think we're going to go for modern electric pylons now. Now here comes the, if we come down to here, you'll see we've now unlocked this, and we've got the electronics assembly plant. But more importantly, if I type in horse, yes, we've now got our horse feed converters. Now, this is going to be a bit controversial, and to be honest, it's a little bit late in the game for what I want to do. But we've got to wait until 1934. Now, a horse feed converter, there's two. The first thing that's very important is there is two versions. There is one which is the horse feed converter. This produces plastics, mechanical components, electronics components, steel and electro components. It's designed to work with the horse veterinarian. Now the B2 version also produces aluminium, and the way it works is that it takes crops and wood to actually produce very small amounts. And if you see there, it takes 15 tons of crops and 7.5 tons of wood, right? That's the consumption at maximum production to produce very tiny amounts of these materials. So while I know some people will say, oh, this is cheating, but the problem is that this does no storage capacity. So for example, if I put this in, we're gonna have to put it in like this, like that. All right, we're gonna have to put this in and here, like here it is there, like that. It's got, I don't think it actually needs power. So we're going to put this in like that, and of course it's going to need a road. Of course it's going to need a road. Now the important thing to understand about this building is it has absolutely no storage capacity. And this is the reason why you've got storage capacity here for crops. But what I will suggest is if you go to storage, let's get rid of that for the moment. Select storage. What I'm going to do is we're going to put a very small, reverse that. We're going to put you there, like that. The reason I'm doing this is the fact that we're going to put logs in here, because there is a game can be a bit glitchy with delivering logs to here. Because if I go back to clear that, get back to the horse. What you will see is that the 7.5 tons can be a little bit small, especially when you think that the storage in here of wood is only 10. So what I'm going to do is create a little bit of a storage area here. And of course, there's no footpath connection. So one thing I do want to do is, well, we can see if we can. Oops, I don't think that. Okay, I think I've just messed this up a bit. I don't think I've got. Is there another footpath out of here I can create? Yeah, okay, there is one temporary one. Okay, we'll put that in there. It will reduce the distance. Okay, that needs to be ultra high priority. So I can get that done. I'll get you on there. Get that built. And then what we'll do is we'll put a footpath through to here. Build this, build this, build this. So that's the horse feed converter in Warstock. What we're going to do now is come over to here. I'm going to put it in every one of these. This one could be fun. Let me just see mods. I'm just going to try and get you like that. Actually, I should really put it that way round, because we may need to work a little bit on getting a workforce in here, which could be a little bit tricky. So I'm going to put you there. Put the road to there like that. And again, we're just going to tuck the storage. Clear you. Actually, I'm kind of. I think I might have. Let me just check something. Yeah, I've got the storage here. I don't know why I'm. And we're just put the log converter there. So this will give us. We can send the crops in here. We can supply the wood here. And we can get that, and that will produce enough to support that. The one thing I will say about this is, that's too short, is that this, how can you put it? This will produce electronics, which this doesn't need for repairs. It will store the electronics in here. Bear in mind that you've got to remember is that this will output to there. This has got no storage whatsoever. So the output of this will be stored into here, and what we have to do is make sure that we don't export the steel that way. So you can see that the amounts that we can store in here are going to be very, very small. But the trouble is, if any of these actually fill up, and this is something that you do need to be very much aware about, if any of these actually fill up, then the process stops, and then the other bits don't get produced either, because what this horse barn thing actually does, if I put back in horse, this produces a bit of everything from the crops and wood. It doesn't produce individual items. So it can be a bit of a pain to manage. So we're going to have to set up a distribution office to manage it. But we'll get to that once we've actually built it. And then, of course, we'll put the next one in here. I'll be completely upfront. I'd be slightly tempted to not actually use this. You can get to there. I'm not. What we got here? We got. Oh, we've got another excavator. We're gonna put another horse barn in. Horse feed. I don't know why I call it horse barn. It's a horse feed converter. I think what I will do with this one is we'll push you out and then kind of try and curve you in like that to see if we can get a workforce out here. Yeah, we just about got to it. I mean, it doesn't, if I remember correctly, it doesn't need that much in the way of workforce. It only needs 5 people. And then again, what we'll do is put the open horse storage. I mean, if you wanted to get very, very creative, you could quite literally, how can you put it? Put in, you know, kind of a forklift trucks, but I think that's overdoing it a little bit. Anyway, so we'll get there. I think what we will do here is we'll just actually, no, I think we can do that once this is built. So we've now got these actually set up, and we've got the wood from here, which we can do. So we're going to need a distribution office up here. Let me just put a small distribution office in. Get rid of you. Could I get a 3 in there? Yeah, I think we can tuck a 3 in there. That means we can take the logs from there and put into here. Actually, we'll do it on all 3 locations. Where is our... We've got a wood supply here, which is strong. So just drop another small distribution office in here. Just doesn't really make much difference which way it goes, so I think maybe for consistency we'll put you there, and then we can use you to bring the logs in from there. At the moment we're having to import the crops from using these, so what we can do is, oh, I've done you, haven't I? Sorry. Went the wrong way. I'm getting lost on my own map. It's one of the downsides of running multiple locations, where we got loads of log production here. You've got wood there, you've got wood there, and my instinct is to put the distribution office here just to keep things tidy. So just tuck that distribution office there, and we will build in this area here. These guys that go in there. We will. How are you guys going? Okay, you got 4.5 tons of gravel. Got a train that's coming in as well. I think we will put another one of these on. Just do, oh, it's already allocated. That's good. Get you on that. How are we doing here? That's now finished. So just make sure, because this could be potentially a bit of a problem if I get this wrong. I think we can. No, we'll take that, and we will assign the demolition office to that, wherever you might be. Okay, you've been picked up. That's good. Let's go up and see if they've demolished. This still hasn't been demolished. The real issue is actually is the actual capacity. So we got that there. I want to put power out here because I think part of the problem with this, it's not being so efficient, is the lack of power. So I'll put you on there. Actually, we'll put you on that. I think the cable's not been built yet, so get you on that as well. I mean, generally overall things are good here. So that just brings me back to, of course, we planned Cosham here. Now, let's take a quick look at something. Yeah, we got time to talk about this area. Let me just check. Now, what I'm thinking is gravel is actually producing electrode components here, but I'm a bit worried about kind of concentrating too much. Plus, Cosham may need to expand. So, what I'm thinking is we're going to make an electronics industry in this area over time. But one thing I do want to look at. Sorry, getting distracted. Yeah, okay. It suddenly occurred to me, I was thinking, it's just suddenly occurred to me that we've got a fuel tank here that's got no power supply, but we've got ports down here, because I don't think I've actually considered the option for connecting up the port. So what we may have to do is run a pipeline off of here when it's finished, because I want to develop more ports here. And of course, one possible option, now we've done the gravel, is that we could export gravel by sea, but I'm not 100% convinced on that at the moment. Anyway, back to where are we here? I'm thinking now that we're going to need to bring in what we need to bring in now for our advanced industries. We need boards we can make, electro components we can make. We got mech components there. And what we got here is chemicals, gravel, and steel. See, what I'm thinking is that we could come off here and actually really start to develop the electronics industry in this area. But I am wondering whether, let's see, say for example, could we get a small electronics component factory here? Or could we produce electronic components in this area? Or would it be better to build I think it might be better to build a composite industry here. So maybe I want to hold off on the electronics now, because we can run the port down into here. But we would what we'd have to do is put a rail line in here to bring, because we got chemicals from here, but I think we use virtually all the chemicals for our clothing industry. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off on the electro components for the moment. We'll leave Cosham with the ability to expand out this way. In fact, that's an idea. We could build a metro system, but I don't think the metro railway. When will metro become available? Let me just take a quick look. I don't know why I keep pausing. 1943. Yeah, I think I've got space to think about this. But one thing I do really would like to do is get... how's this coming along? Is I want to get power out here, because I'm really needing now to get... maybe start getting some fuel shipments. Actually, that reminds me. Talking about fuel, I think I was checking this. Oh, I think this is why I was building a distribution office here, wasn't it? Because we're going to need to ship coal over to here. We got water, we just don't have coal. Okay, Let's push these guys onto... Actually, no, where's my super crew? You're not really doing much, are you? Let me just get you onto... Where is it? There. How are we doing up here? Wow, we've already built the roads in. I don't really want to run scraggly road over there, so I think we can just bring you down into there. Actually, let me just... No, we're going to have a rail line coming out this way. We may need to change this road. Okay, let me just plan a rail line out of here. Let me just see here. Yeah, we run you like that. Okay, we got this gravel road here. Let me just measure this. These are general. Oops. Thank you, game. Okay, so we can, from a point of view of laying track, we can put a crossover there. That means we've got plenty of space to get into there. If I cancel that, that's 189. So what's 155? Okay, I can push you out a little bit further like that, and we could put in this crosslink there and just remeasure that. 100 and a little bit tight, so maybe we'll push this out a little bit further, say to about there. That means we've got two tracks which are coming out virtually side by side. I don't want them. Let me just trim you back like that. Okay, we've now got track coming out there, track coming out there. We can get 100. I'm not exactly sure where that's going to go, but what it means is we're going to have to put some form of bridge over here. Actually, I'm thinking we could save some space here by... I mean, the road comes through here. It's only a gravel road, isn't it? It's nothing important. We got piles and piles of gravel. Let me just see. We need to make sure that we don't obstruct. Can we get... See if we can get a concrete bridge over here. Games. Crossing not allowed. Okay. I think what we... Let me just change this a bit. I think I've got kind of outsmarted myself here. We can do that. Okay. Cancel that. Okay. That was a little bit lucky, wasn't it? Okay, we've got a bridge over there now. We can accept that. And what I can do is come that way. Can't get you in there, but what I can do is run you that way. Right, we're going to need to kind of connect off these roads. But what I can be now, I don't want to kind of parallel this, but what I can do is be a little bit devious here. We can put a couple of mud connectors there, which means we can basically build this in, then demolish that, and then back to here, and then we can connect in that bit there and that bit in back in again. So we're kind of doing a little bit of parallel motorway development here. And then what that will mean is that we can then, once this is all gone, we can rework this, merge the lines together, and things should work okay. Yep, I think that will work. So we're just accept that rail track there. And that means we've now got the ability to export prefabs and aggregate loading. I think, where's the road come out? The road comes out there. I think this road we can just run through there, and eventually you will hook up there. Probably because this is just really a fire access road. The only real problem is this is getting a bit far out with respect to fire, so we might have a bit of a problem there. Let me just now I'm aware that I'm running out of time, so I just want to, okay, this one's electronic pylons are just taking a little bit extra time to produce. So yeah, I need to really think about this area here. How are we doing here? What's the, how much fuel have we got left in here? We've still got 82 tons, so we should be okay. Right, what we're going to do is just one final check before we wind the video up. Wow, okay, we've now got a ship dock. This is where it's going to get a bit painful. I just want to take a quick look out of curiosity, see what we've got available in the way of ships. We've got a, okay, let me just see, passenger ships, 400. That's not bad actually, they're quite cheap, which is really surprising. Let's have a look at cargo ships. What have we got in the way of cargo ships? These, well, now we're getting serious. We got one minute. We've got a general hauler here, 400 tons. We got this heavy tanker, wow, 1 point something million. Now the fun comes if we go to mods. This is I'll be completely upfront. The vehicles that you've got available, or ships that you've got available from the west is far better. See, we got 842,000 for a Dane ferry, which will bring 1,800 passengers. I think these are a little bit kind of ahead of their time at the moment. We've got a paddle steamer here for 68,000, does 9 knots. So we could bring in for 68,000. We got a little steamship here that does 4 knots. That does 9 knots. Search by speed. Got a little Dane ferry there. You got 84,000 for that one. That's 23 knots. Got the moon schooner. Actually, I quite like the moon schooner. Actually, okay, we're gonna have a bit of fun, guys. We're gonna buy the moon schooner. Make sure we get it on dollars. passenger ships. It's cheap for 37,000. So we're gonna get a sailing ship, moon schooner, 100 passengers. We're gonna get that, and of course it has to come in from the outside. And of course what we're going to need to do is deliver some fuel. Yeah, we need to get some fuel into here. Put some fuel in here. Go down to 20%. Right, we've now unlocked that, so let's just go and do the next research, which is going to be the last one. Okay, so we've now got high capacity wiring, but what I would like to do is unlock waste processing disposal, because of course we unlock high capacity wiring. Well, strictly speaking, the maximum output here is 10 megawatts. Can we build a 10 megawatt cable now? So we can now make that connection. I'm pretty sure the power station, this coal-fired power station that we're building, yeah, the circuit breaker is 10 megawatts, so there's no point putting an 18 there anyway. Anyway, just go back over to here. Just gonna let the game run. Right, what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna pause the video, because we need to get some fuel into here first, and then we'll set the route up, and then we'll have a bit of fun to see whether we got any I mean, there's no real space in here, but I don't know if I can squeeze in another hotel. We could put another one of these in. Milford on Sea, Vienna. Because of course you can't actually a wooden balcony. Okay, here, Vienna. No sanitation there. Got sanitation there. Can we get the workforce in though? Yeah, we can get workforce down to here, so we can get another hotel there. Yeah, okay, I think we can slide you in there. We may have to actually upgrade this a bit so that we can get well, technically they can go to there, which will then allow them to walk to there, because tourists will use the bus stops there. Don't want any passengers waiting there. So here's our little moon schooner. I think that will be the thumbnail. Let me just do that. Like that. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to wait for some fuel to be delivered, because this... Okay, we've now got fuel. Now, what we're going to do is go here. You're going to unload tourists. The reason I'm sending this to there is so that it would get fuel. And then, of course, what we're going to do is go out here and tell it to pick up. So we're just going to kick that off. So it should go in here, pick up some fuel. Now, some of these sailing ships, they don't actually burn very much fuel. So, yep, you've got a full load of fuel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep an eye on him. And we're just going, again, I'm just going to play on, guys, so that you can see the effect of this here. So I'll be right back once we've actually got the moon schooner. You can see it's going to have to go all the way out to about here to pick up some tourists. And then what that will mean is we'll get an income coming into here of from Western tourists. But they may have to fight a little bit over accommodation. Okay, welcome back. It's taken a little while to get this ship going. You can see it's coming back. We've got a whole 10 Western tourists on board, so we may have to do a little bit of Western promotion once this hotel's been built, but we'll see if they will actually come and unload and visit the hotel. I don't know if we've got any. Might have a little bit of space here for them to get in, so we're just going to let them come in and undock. I'm not exactly sure where they're going to go. Okay, where are you going? I don't think you can tell the difference between them, but what we should see now, yep, we earned $31 from a foreign tourist. So it's going to take a little while for this to build up, but what it will mean is that over time we will slowly build up our dollars here. Looks like we've spent 41,000. So this might be well spent, but what it means is that we will be earning dollars. And just a final update before I wind the video up is if this is now being rebuilt. So we are now chipping it. Looks like we've now finished the waste processing, which means I don't think we've got any more research we can do. Oh yeah, we can research high capacity wiring, might as well do it just to get it out of the way, and then that will complete all the research for 1934. We do need to get rid of this here. A traffic jam, just make sure, yeah, that's okay. So we, oh yeah, I was just going to show you. It says this is full. I'm not exactly. I think it could be down to. Just make sure. Let me just check. It says destination is full. I think the problem is at the moment is that this is kind of pushing through into there. But as long as that's keeping that full, I mean, it could also be down to the fact that I'm not, where are we getting the bitumen from? Yeah, I think the part of the problem we've got now is we're not consuming enough fuel. I think we may need to keep an eye on that. I mean, as long as there's enough fuel in here, we should be okay. I mean, I could always supplement it with delivery trucks if necessary. Anyway, guys, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.